Under the sky melted into the landscape. Two silhouettes moved along the busted walkway, and the ghostly features extend in agony. Since Norwegian artist Edvard Munch created the screen in 1893, it's become one of the world's most famous artworks. But why has it traveled so far and endured so long? Munch was born in 1863, one of the five children. Tuberculosis devastated Europe throughout the 1800s, killing almost a quarter of all adults. It took Munch's mother's life, and then his elder sister. Soon after, Munch had his own bout of the disease. Another of his sisters experienced mental illness and lived much of her life in an institution. Meanwhile, Munch felt it in and out of school due to illness, often spending days at home, drawing and listening to the ominous stories his father read aloud. A devout person, his father considered Munch's artistic ambition unholy. I inherited the seed of madness, Munch wrote. The angel of fear, sorrow, and death stood by my side since the day I was born. Eventually, Munch moved to Berlin, where he frequented creative circles committed to breaking with the academic tradition and instead developing their craft organically. While Munch had trained classically, he began immersing himself in what he called soul painting, composition that prized raw, subjective effect over realistic rendering. It's not a chair which should be painted, he wrote, but a person had felt at the sight of it. Many of the Munch's works dealt with personal suffering. This may have also led to a certain critics observed as an unsympathetic portrayal of women in works where Munch represented them as cruel predators victimizing helpless men. And death often haunted Munch's compositions. From a skeleton helming a boat to a morbid self-portrait, his sister's final moment to a mother's on her deathbed, her child assuming a now familiar expression. Munch's art generated controversy. Some critics characterized him as absolutely demented, but it also drew acclaim. But what would become his most famous work was just around the corner. The Scream was inspired by a moment that overwhelmed Munch with an acute sense of anguish. In a diary entry marked January 22nd in 1892, Munch described walking with a two friends along the field overlooking what's now Oslo at sunset. He leaned against the fence, exhausted, as he saw the sky change suddenly. He described blood and the tongues of fire above the blue. He described blood and the tongues of fire above the blue black field and the city. As his friend walked on, Munch wrote, I stood there, trembling with anxiety, and the sense that infinite scream passing through nature. And with other painful experiences, Munch revisited the scene repeatedly. First, he depicted it with a more recognizable human subject, but upon a year, he surrendered it to a dramatic abstract symbolism, the haunted expression on the figure's skull-like face, meeting with the viewer's gaze directly. On the first version, he added subtle by inscription. Could only have been painted by a madman. Based on the Munch's account, many think the figure isn't emitting the shrink, but reacting to it. Munch eventually made a full version of the scream, all along the cardboard, two with pastel, two with paint, and he created numerous prints and lithographs. The year following the first scream, he depicted the same setting, but he featured correction of despairing faces. In the late 1893, Munch premiered The Scream at a solo exhibit in Berlin. The artwork's bold composition helped fuel the expression movement, which likewise emphasized the stark psychological states, mapping the emotional contours of the World War I and beyond. The Scream continued its crescendo. When it entered the public domain in mid-1900, new New renditions and reproduction bolstered its fame. It featured popular films during the 1990s, and both painted versions of the scream were stolen and recovered in separate heists in 1994 and 2004. True enough, it was a widely accepted archetypal symbol for horror and anguish. A screen-inspired emoji was eventually implemented, and considering how to mark hazardous sites so far off future generations could know to avoid them, the US government has considered using the scream expression. While its myriad cultural influences may not always reflect the personal agony Munch initially rendered, the scream has certainly found a near universal echo.